Hello, my name is Sunny Hirunviriya. Today I will be presenting to you about the 5 most famous Chinese scientists. Production by Forever Sci-Fi and Fantasy Limited. All rights reserved. www.fsff.co.uk. Introduction. The majority of scholars now recognize that ancient China was on the threshold of civilization about 4,000 years ago, with a portion of scholars believing that the origins of Chinese civilization date back to 5,000 years or older. Quote from article by Jeff Hetch. Chinese writing began as individual symbols thousands of years before characters were brought together to create a true written language. Symbols that resemble Chinese characters appear on tourist shells in graves dating back to 6,500 BC at a site called Xien-Chung in Henan province. Quote from David R. Olson. The earliest known inscription, each of which contains between 10 to 60 characters incised on pieces of bone and tortoise shells that were used for oracular divination, date from Shang dynasty, but then it was already highly developed system, essentially similar to its present form. Among a great list of inventions attributed to ancient China includes seismographs, the water wheel, ancient Chinese scripts, still readable today, the south-pointing chariot lacquer, a natural shapeable plastic, bronzes with piece of mold cast, flying kites for war and science, crossbows, casting iron, and the bianzhong, melodious bronze bells, musical instrument. Top 5 most famous Chinese scientists. Number 5, Xien-Chung Wu. Xien-Chung Wu was born in the town Liuhe, Taichan in Jiangsu province, China, on 31st of May 1912. She went to study at the National Central University from 1930 to 1934 in Nanjing, China. She first majored in mathematics. For 2 years after graduation, she carried on with graduate level study in physics and worked as an assistant at Zhejiang University. She later moved to the United States of America and studies physics at PhD level at University of California, Berkeley, and received her PhD in 1940. In 1975, she was awarded a National Medal of Science. She died in the year 1997. Xien-Chung Wu, contribution to science. In March 1944, during World War II, Wu joined the Manhattan Project Substitute Alloy Material Laboratories at Columbia University, eventually working on technical issues. Her, at the time unpublished, work and findings for her PhD studies helped her to go on to build the standard model for producing enriched uranium to fuel the atomic bombs at the Oak Ridge, Tennessee facility, as well as building innovative Geiger counters. In November 1949, Wu experimented with the conclusions of Einstein's EPR thought experiment. The experiment carried out by Wu was the first important confirmation of quantum result relevant to a pair of entangled photons as applicable to Einstein-Podolsky-Rosen. The 5 most famous Chinese scientists. Number 4, Charles Kunkau. Charles Kunkau was born in the year 1933 in China. He graduated in 1957 with a BSc in Electrical Engineering from Woolwich Polytechnic, London, UK. In the 1960s, he worked for Standard Telecommunication Laboratories based in England, UK. In 1970, the Chinese University of Hong Kong, CUHK, asked him to set up an electronic department, so he worked on this for at least 4 years. In the year 2009, for his contributions in the study of the transmission of light in optical fibers and their application for fiber communication, Cao was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics. Sir Charles Cao-kun died in the year 2018, having laid the groundwork for evolution in the internet. Quote from the book, City of Light, The Story of Fiber Optics by Jeff Hetch. In the 1960s, the Standard Telecommunication Laboratories based in Harlow, Essex, England, Cao and his co-workers did pioneering work in creating fiber optics as telecommunication medium by demonstrating that high loss of existing fiber optics arose from impurities in the glass rather than from an underlying problem with the technology itself. Charles has said that by 1974, the project I had seen with a now famous 1966 paper published in the IEE proceedings, has progressed to the pre-production development stage. An industry had grown up around it, and it was full speed ahead to revolutionize the telecommunication system around the world. ITT wanted me back to be a part of the team for this endeavor. The 5 most famous Chinese scientists. Number 3, Chang. Chang was born in the year 1908 in Taiyuan, China. Chang studied at Tsinghua University in Beijing, China. He was educated at the Tsinghua University, Peking, China. Later, he went on to receive a PhD in animal breeding from Cambridge University, England, which he obtained in 1941. In 1945, he moved to America, and from 1961 served as professor of reproductive biology in Boston University, USA. Chang died in the year 1991. Chang contribution to science. Chang carried out a number of major research projects from which emerged not only greater understanding of mechanism of mammalian fertilization, but also practical consequences as oral contraceptives and the transplantation of human ova fertilized in vitro. Chang's notable achievements include his research and testing of effectiveness of certain orally administered steroid in control of mammalian fertility. This led to his co-invention of the first birth control pill, which went on to have a tremendous influence on human society as it helped reduce population growth worldwide. The 5 most famous Chinese scientists. Number 2, Youyou. Youyou was born in the year 1930 in the city of Ningbo in the east coast of China. In 2011, she was awarded the Lasker Foundation's Medical Research Award. In 2015, she was jointly awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine with Satoshi Omura and William C. Campbell. In 1969, she was 39 years old. Youyou was appointed head of Project 523. She was tasked with researching into malaria. She traveled to and studied its effect on Hainan Island, and later her team reviewed ancient Chinese medical texts to understanding traditional Chinese ways of fighting malaria, finding ancient references to sweet wormwood. After numerous experiments, she found a way to extract an active compound from this called artemisinin, which has significant success in treating patients. The World Health Organization, albeit 2 decades later, recommended artemisinin combination therapy as the first of defense against malaria. Quote from Nobel Prize, the Lasker Foundation, which awarded to its Clinical Medical Research Award in 2011, called the discovery of artemisinin arguably the most important pharmaceutical invention in the last half-century. A famous quote from Youyou, viewed by many as the best quoted from her source, the Nobel Prize Award, is, "Every scientist dreams of doing something that can help the world." The 5 most famous Chinese scientists. Number 1, Sun Wu. Sun was born in the year 544 BC in Xi, China. The historical accounts he thought to have served as a Chinese general under King Hilu of Wu in the late 6th century BC. According to historical reports, he was an excellent military strategist who helped his army win many wars. He died in the year 496 BC, aged 47 or 48 in Gusu, China. Sun Wu, contribution to science. Sun's most famous work is known in the English-speaking world with the title The Art of War, also known as the 13 Chapters. This is currently viewed as the oldest intact substantive formally written work which teaches military strategy as a science. It is known to have inspired, guided, and been referred by generals in the Far East over many centuries, thereby indirectly affecting the results of war and hence wider society for many, many years, even after the death of Sun Tzu. That's it for the short presentation. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.